people preaching to people, most people aren't listening. And they get very little views. Well, people say they believe in God, but or some people say that, but I don't think they really do. If they believed in God, they would know God is with you all the time. He's here. So is that guy right there. He's with you. He's around you. So we make our choices. I let the proof of what's happened prove God. If you're just preaching the Bible, yes, the Bible is very important. But if you're not, if you have no proof that it is real, who's going to believe you? I mean, everything around you is creation. There's no doubt. Even the scientists say no matter can be created, no matter can be destroyed. It only changes from one form to another. And it's all energy of some kind. And it's all creation. Look outside. There's every different tree out there, every different animal. They're all different. They all and they all want to live. They all want to live. Well, you see a spider running around, and you chase at it, and it's running for its life. Every thing wants to live. So everything has a consciousness to it. I don't know if it's a spirit, but that they're going to get to heaven, but there is spirit in it. Wood. Our houses are built with wood. People are all free energy. Wood grows. It grows from a little tiny seed, and 50 years or 100 years later, they cut it all up into wood, and they build things out of it. And if you don't take care of that wood, and you don't have out of the elements, it rots, and it changes anyway. Or you could get termites in it that eat your walls. So many things. And we're only here for a while. People live like they're going to be here forever. You're not going to be here forever. You're going to die. But we should not be negative about it. We have to realize that guy is real. And God is real. That guy's real. People play with Ouija boards or witchcraft. People go to haunted houses. Well, I lived in a haunted house too. And even this place that we were in right now, it had some issues when we first bought it. And it took a little while to deal with it. But I suggest don't deal with it if that guy there is he's the God of this world. He's in charge. He makes the rules. He makes us jump through hoops all the time. But you don't want to go on his side. And you don't want to fight him if you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, and you take on that guy, you could be in big trouble. So I say just keep your nose clean, sort of. Follow the rules, if God put that guy in charge, he did it, and it's allowed by God. And we can't knock him off his throne, out of his kingdom, because this is his kingdom at this time until God actually wipes out this world with him, along with it, and puts us in a new place, in the firmament, or a new earth created. We don't even know what anything is. We say the sun is a ball 93 million miles away. And we say the moon is a reflector that's reflecting the sunlight. Well, it doesn't look like the sunlight. And the fact is, moonbeams actually cool. And any kind of light that puts out light should be putting out some kind of a heat signature of some kind. But yet on a full moon, if you put an object, one in the moonbeams and one out of the moonbeams, the one that's in the shade will be a little warmer, a couple degrees, than the one in the moonbeam. So what is it? You know, they can't explain all this stuff. And we can't explain creation. I could be dead. You know, they said, we could be dead tomorrow. Ah, I could be dead in 5 minutes. You know, we don't know. We're energy. We're pumping. Blood's pumping through us for some reason. We're taking on air. The air is the oxygen is oxygenating, and it's helping our body with energy. You know, it's so amazing and so unexplainable that we don't know what's really around us. I think that personally, the spirit world is actually more real than this world we're in right now, because we can't explain things, and we can't explain why some miracles happen, and we can't explain why when Satan gets involved with you, how he can do things that appear to be unbelievable. And we don't know what happened in history. Where did all these huge buildings come from that even not that far back, they didn't have technology to build this stuff, horses and buggies. And I think Satan was left to rule after Jesus ascended, and he created a lot of this stuff. And then I think there was big disasters, my opinion, that I think that Jesus came back hidden as a thief in the night, so to speak, and caused islands to be moved out of their places and cities to be sunk into oceans, and lands to sink things under the ground, which they're digging up things now. They're digging up artifacts and out of, you know, from the ocean, and lots of this stuff comes back to roughly around the time when Jesus walked on this earth, or previously to that. So how do we that this is just justifying the Bible. You know, the Bible makes a lot of sense. And anyway, you know what, we have to try to make our lives more livable. You know, Jesus died so we could have life, and not only have life, but have it in more abundance, And people say, well, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, money's just a tool. It's not even worth anything. It's fiat. It's plastic. It's paper. It's coins, without any real intrinsic value to it. But it's just a means we trade through in you know, in this world when where we're at right at this moment. So, not to be negative all the time. It's not good to be negative. It can be very positive if we realize that that guy is real, and that guy is real, and we're going to be up there someday. We're going to be away from that guy. We're not going to have all these crazy rules and laws and be forced to work how we do, and make it so you have to fight to grow your food, and you know, like, work is good. Work is good. We should be happy at our work. You know, if we're not happy at our work, and well, that's what it says in the book. We should be found happy at our work, and that's all right. But in this, you know, there's different ways of doing it. You don't have to be in a slave-master relationship. I have not worked actually for anybody in a slave-master relationship as going to work for a boss for many, many years. I know I got fed up with it when I was in my 20s, and I said, that's enough. I'll figure out a way just to get by so that I can do what I want in my day, you know, and even though it was a lot of work, like, I mean, And business wasn't really all it's cracked up to be. It's just another job you built for yourself, but at least you are working for yourself. You're not subjected to a one boss. You have many different bosses then that you have to deal with. You know, customers are your sort of like your bosses, but you can choose whether you deal with them or you don't. There's so much out there. Like, if you think about what you're doing on a daily basis, and I always advocate a ledger. So you put down what you do in your day, what your plans are for the day, and what you did and what you didn't do, and move forward in your day. Keep putting dates down and moving forward, and think about what you're doing. Like the other day, and the day before, I worked on our old van. I mean, just to make it look a little more presentable. I mean, it has a lot of miles on it, but we paid next to nothing for it. I say over 3 years ago. It had low mileage. It was in good shape. But now after running it, it's got over 300,000 click on it, with very little repairs every year. Like change a few parts yourself and fix up the body a little bit yourself, and that is saving you money. I mean, it's time you're spending. It's exercise, and it keeps your brain going. It keeps you on track. It makes you feel better about life if you're, if the wife's not driving a real junky looking vehicle. What do they say? Happy wife, happy life. Well, hard to make them all happy, I guess, but we're only happy to a degree in our life. But if we are free to do what we want and we don't have to get up and salute the boss every day. Had a lady come out here today whining, it's Monday, it's Monday. Well, you know what? One day is the same as the next to me, basically. Yeah, I got some appointments, I got things to do, but I can alter them around and I do what I have to do. It's pretty simple. And, well, I'm getting old. I'm 68 years old now, and I have done this before in my life. As I said many times through my videos, I have done this kind of thing. I didn't want to work for anybody anymore when I was in my 20s. So I said, you know what, Mr. Boss, I'm gone. And I just started painting, auto body painting business. Got my body ticket and my painting ticket through what do they call it? Grandfathering in, proving places I work, proving time I put in, writing for like tickets and stuff. I did that, but it's not like I gave up the tickets. I gave up being in that business anymore. Now, I mean, I'm just starting to fire this up again. I was into real estate. When we were in business, I decided I was gonna do something different. I had a partner, and I said, well, let's get into real estate or something, because there was no internet at that time. I don't know, even the fax machines were out then, and photocopiers, and we had newspaper and little community newspapers you could advertise in and stuff like that. And I came across a book. It was Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. Very good book, very powerful book. It's good, and even like Myron Golden's book. I got a link in the video here that you can copy and paste and pick up a copy of his book. I mean, it's called The Trash Man to the Cash Man. It's a $20 book. Excellent read. Go to the link I provided in there in the YouTube. I don't think the link will work. You have to copy and paste it. In Rumble, it'll work, the link. So as of now, if you want to copy that and paste that into your browser, that'll take you to that book. And if you purchase it, I get a little commission off of it. That's called Working Smart. I sit here, talk, and I pitch some things. And I'm looking for other affiliates and stuff like that to you know, to market with. And every little thing you do, if it becomes a passive type of an income, that's good. When, you know, like people are free energy. When my partner and I decided to get in real estate, my other friend had a program. It was Carlton Sheets, no money down buying property program. Very good program. I borrowed that thing off of one of my friends, and it works. You know, like just coming up with different ideas and finding different ways of possibly the lender helping with the financing, or through different organizations and different things like that. You can figure out ways that you can go into real estate with no money down, and then you got tax write-offs and you got passive income coming. And I was into it. You know, first of all, my partner and I, we decided to buy a place. So I says, oh hey, we're none of us are rich here. How about I'll borrow $5,000 off my family, and you borrow 5 against your truck or something, and we'll invest in a house. So we did that, and we bought the one house. I lived upstairs. There was an apartment upstairs and the main floor downstairs. I lived in the apartment, paid rent just as I was paying the apartment I was living in. And then just going along a little ways, he decided he wanted to, you know, buy himself a house by himself. I says, well, I'll tell you what, Ed, I will, how about, we each put in 5, how about either you give me $7,000 and take over this, and I'll move on, or I'll give you $7,000 and you move on to something else. So he says, well, give me the $7,000. So it was a little bit down the road, and things weren't too bad, and we had income coming from the main floor. So I paid him off the $7,000 in a very short period of time, and then I had the property, and so I says to the wife, I says, well, actually, I was working in the shop. We had a shop we were renting, and there was a guy come down the back lane chasing his little dog. Helped him catch his little dog, and he says, you want to buy my house? He says, it's a good deal. He says, $25,000. I said, okay, I'll look at it. So I walked down the corner with him, looked at the house, and I said, well, that's fine, okay. So I wrote up a little contract, just on a piece of paper, put $50 on the table, and I said, okay, if you want to sign this, we'll go with it. And he started shaking his head, and he walked out. I said, oh, well, I guess that deal's gone. So a week later, he walks back into the shop and he says, I'll sign that now. I said, okay. So he signed that. I went to our bank. I mortgaged up our house, the house we were living in, and I needed $25,000. And they would only give me, they gave me 23.8, I think it was, on top of my mortgage to remortgage it. So that was all right. So I didn't have the 25. I had to put in a few grand extra to close on that deal, which I did, or we did, the wife and myself. So then we had this house all paid off. And there's one house paid off, nothing to write off against it. So I walks back into another bank. We walks back at another bank, asked to mortgage it up to what it you know, how far we could. So going up to 75% of appraised value, they gave me 28.9. You know, so then I had like 30 grand sitting there in my bank account to do what with. And this is a lot of years ago now. This is 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And that was a fair chunk of change then. So I found another place. I didn't want to pay rent at that shop. And also, you know, so all I did is just, I went into this other, just remortgaged it. So I found another property with a shop and a house and an apartment in it. So I put that money down on that place, and we overpaid for the thing. I think it was they wanted 150 for the thing, and I think we paid 125, which at the time I think was over the amount too that we should have paid, but still, it made sense. And it was the bank would only give us, they gave us a 12-year amortization on on this property, which made our bills high. But then again, I had an apartment in the basement. I had a shop to work in. I had a house to live in. I had other incomes coming from other places, like the rentals. Plus, we were looking after children at the time. So, you know, everything adds up. Multiple sources of income. So even though years later, when I kind of gave up on this book thing, you know, like I used to do it every day, write the things down, and it works. It works then, it worked then, it'll work now. And I'm doing this for the last few months, 3 months, 2 months, 2.5 months, and it's making a big difference in my life again, you know. Did it kind of on a challenge, you know, like if you, I says to a guy, I says, you know what? You want to change your life a little bit better, for the better? I says, we'll do this. And I'll prove this to you again. So he started doing this too, and it's helping him too. And it is amazing. Anyway, I think I went on a little bit too long here. And as you see, I do things in my day. Like I say, I worked on that van. So what? I worked on that only showed on the video. I only showed like just taking the 1/4 to primer, and then I just jumped to the next day where I showed the paint finish on the thing. I didn't show the finishing process, but getting it up into the primer was on 2 hours maybe on that 1/4 panel, and I did spend a good part of 2 days off and on, because both rocker panels on each end were rotted off. One left front fender end was hardly there, just flopping in the wind. And like I say, and I do up the bottoms a little bit. So it was a investment of time to save money, and you know, so what's the big deal? You know, it's you have to do something in your day. I'm making this video right now, hey, and I gotta go out later, and I'm doing different things. Got kids here, they're out cutting the grass. I got kids here, that the same 2 kids, they're gonna work on this old Toyota I picked up for next to nothing. I got it for $300. Decent shape. Looked a little cruddy. It had a couple little holes in it. 170 click on the thing, 98. Had to have appraisal to get it in my name. Appraisal cost $75, and the guy appraised it to $300. That's what, you know. I says, that's all I'm paying tax on. If you're going to appraise it any higher, forget it. So he looked over every aspect of how crappy it really was. All stained up interior seats. There was no fancy stuff to it. Crank door handles and nothing. Didn't even have tilt steering. It got air conditioning, but that's the whole thing about it. All it's got. And it had new tires on it. So $300 for the vehicle. He said $250 for the safety, $75 for the appraisal. Set of headlights bought from China. What did we pay? Under $100. Door handle was broke on the inside. That was another $20 or $30, something like that. So, how much did it really cost me? It cost me probably, I'd say maximum like $1,000 on the road, safety, decent car, good gas mileage. But then again, went to the dump. There was a boat there, a canoe, nice canoe. Put it there, threw it there, put it on the internet, $650. So subtract that from the $1,000, and you got a car on the road for what? You know, like $450, totally. And very little labor work. You know, I did a little bit of painting work on it, used dump paint. So, yeah, it'll be a spare vehicle because, you know what, always something's breaking down. And when it breaks down, if you don't have a spare tire, it can cost you. Not having a spare tire in your vehicle can cost you a big tow job. You know, you call it, the cops call a tow truck here. I bet you're paying $1,500 for a tow now. You know, so I do keep CAA. I keep CAA, and it come in handy a few times. One time she whacked a deer. They hauled her home. Another time, I broke a CV axle out at the other dump. Hey, you know what? It's still cheaper to do that, and you got to have a spare tire. You got to have, just like in life, you should have some extra money. You got to have stuff around. You got to have tools. Tools, all tools. Money's a tool. Tools are tools. People are free energy. People will do things for you. Ask and you will receive. Hey, you know what? It speaks about it in there. Ask and you will receive. And anyway, going to conclude this video right now. You guys have a nice day and order a copy. Go to the little link I got there. Order a copy of Myron's book there. It'll be well worth it. I'm telling you. You know, it'll be the biggest, nicest, greatest $20 you spent in a long, long time. Great read. Okay, guys, have a good day. Beware of the devil.